Dalcio Gomez is Red Star's newest signing. He comes in as a free agent, so no fee. He last played for Apoel Nicosia, a team that we're familiar with. Mladen Milovic has managed there before, and we have some players that we have sold to Apoel in the past, I believe, and we bought from Apoel as well. So 2-year contract plus an option for a third year. Familiar with Mladen Milovic, like I said, Milovic has worked there in the past, and Dalcio was one of the players who was at the club when Milovic was there, so they're very familiar. In this case, if you don't really believe in the signing, you could probably believe in it through Vladan Milovic, because Milovic wouldn't just sign anyone. He will sign players who he's confident in, and Dalcio is probably someone that he believes in. He's an international for Guinea-Bissau. He's played 8 matches for them. No goals, no assists. In 2 seasons at Apoel, he has compiled 7 goals and 10 assists in 81 matches. And yeah, he comes in 28 years old, so he's a little bit more experienced than some of the younger players on the team, obviously. And now we're going to kind of get into what he does well. No real weak foot, so you can use both feet, which is always, always, always a bonus for every manager and every player. Once you're a two-footed player, you can be used a little bit differently than a player who's maybe limited to 1 foot. Ability to switch the ball, so something that Marko Stamnic did very well. Marko Stamnic now is gone to Coventry City. We're just kind of waiting for the official announcement. His ability to switch the ball from one side of the pitch to the other is very well from what I've seen. Solid shot from distance. Again, from just clips I've seen on YouTube, he has a solid shot from distance, which is something that we're used to with Kanga being in the lineup, having the ability to score from 25 to 35 yards out, which if you roll back the film, Kanga did very well in his time with Red Star. Ability to put pressure on the opposition once they receive the ball right away. I think that's very important. I don't know if we really have a player like that in our team who has defensive characteristics. First of all, I don't think we really have a CDM on this team, to be completely honest, even though we do play a 4-2-3-1 formation at times with 2 defensive midfielders. I don't think we really have players who have that characteristic. I think maybe Marko Stamenic comes up as one of the players who does have the ability to put pressure and to do a little bit of defensive work, but he is someone who can do that very well. Puts pressure, his ability to steal the ball and then start a counter attack right away, I think is very good, and maybe his best asset out of everything that he can do is just putting that pressure. I think when he has the ball, he's able to soak in a lot of pressure from the opposition, and then which then creates a foul, and yeah, protects the ball very well. So I think going forward, that's one of the things that he does very well. Again, I think it's the thing that he does the best from what I've seen of his footage. So I'm kind of looking forward to seeing that. And now, kind of getting to the nitty gritty of the video, is he a replacement for Huang? So Zvezdan Terzic came out in an interview about 2 weeks ago, and he says that he does have an agreement with Huang that if a club from the top 5 leagues in Europe does put forth an offer, that Huang will leave. And that's kind of a gentleman's agreement that they've had. So apparently, Huang had the same agreement with Olympiacos, and when a deal came up from a top 5 league, Olympiacos rejected it, and Huang felt like they turned his back on him, and that's why he wanted to leave Olympiacos. And it seems like Terzic will honor that. So if a club from a top 5 league does come and offers money for Huang, that he will leave the club. I know Crystal Palace and Wolves, if I'm not mistaken, were interested in him. I haven't read much else apart from that. So those are the 2 teams that you kind of have heard of their interest in Huang. Is Dalcio going to be a replacement for Huang? I don't think so. I think Huang is just so much better than anyone in this team. Um, excuse me, in the position that he plays. And I think if I think it's ludicrous to think that Dalcio is going to step in and replace Huang. I don't think that's possible. I think, and that's no disrespect to Dalcio, I just think that Huang is that good of a player in all aspects of the game that he's very irreplaceable for this team. He won't be replaced if he does leave. There's also Kanga rumors that he could go to PAOK from what I've read. We'll see what happens with that. Wouldn't be surprised if Red Star does let him go. He's an older player, he's an aging player. Now you're starting to bring in some younger players, whether that's from outside or promoting players from within the younger ranks of Red Star. So we'll see about that. Quality of the league that Dalcio plays in, it kind of raises a question, right? With the Cypriot league, it's not the best league in Europe. So, all the things that he does well, will he be able to duplicate that in the Serbian league? And more importantly, will he be able to duplicate that in the Champions League or Europa League or whatever, right? So that's kind of the question right now. Will he be able to do those same things at a high level? Will those things still be his strengths when he does play better opposition? And I think like we don't have an answer to that, and the only way we're going to get an answer to that is once we see him play. Right? That's the only way you're going to get an answer to the question. He has next to no Champions League or Europa League experience. The only experience he does have is, I believe, 62 total minutes in the Europa League, and that was 9 years ago when he was, like 19? So that's kind of the negative. So now you're bringing in a guy and you're asking him to, play in high stakes matches, whether it's in Champions League qualifying, whether it's Champions League group stage, whether it's Europa League group stage, whatever it is. Now you're asking him to step it up, 2 or 3 levels. Now he does have a lot of experience playing in qualifiers for either Champions League or Europa League, but in terms of playing in the actual Champions League and Europa League, he doesn't have much experience. Am I sold on this purchase? Not yet, not totally. I have to see how the rest of the team is constructed. If we bring in another midfielder who's worth 5-6 million on the market, then I might feel differently. But if we're using him as a replacement for Huang when he does eventually leave, I don't know if I really like the signing. But like I said, there's still a lot of time. I mean, I guess the window has technically opened, but we'll see what other acquisitions the team makes. Like I said, Kanga could be on his way out. Huang, if an offer comes, will be on his way out. So we're just gonna have to wait and to see how the rest of the team develops and the players that they sign. I would have loved to have seen a younger player maybe get a better chance, but with Dalcio here, is probably going to be a starter for the team again, assuming that Huang does leave the team. So let me know in the comments what you think of the signing. Should we sign more midfielders, a defensive midfielder, someone maybe a little bit more height? Yeah, let me know in the comments.